Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Mordechai. Hi. In our Chasidus, Slonim, we also give a silver ring. But every Chassan gives as well a gold ring in the Yichud room. David Hochhauser from Yerushalayim HaKodesh. Moshe Hirsch sent this in. My brother-in-law, Yisrael Yosef Palavaskio, something like that, learning the daf by the barbecue. I don't know, it reminded me when it was Yeshiva, they said about it, I forgot which Rashiva, G'day Rashiva. What's Gan Eden? Gan Eden is sitting by a Gemara with a cigar. Okay. Rish is called Seltzer. I caught my camp administrator of Sheftel Kugelman learning the daf during day camp. Baruch Weisfeld, head counselor, Stalin Borough Park Day Camp. Good morning, Rabbi Eli. Mzakar Rabim Karev Yehudim LaTorah does not only change my life, but has always challenged my life every day, learning and only learning on the plane. Kind regards, Hilla Gruber. Boys, hi, we have a very choshev daf today, so we're going to go jump right into the... Who's Bar Mitzvah boy? Shalom Aleichem, you're Bar Mitzvah boy? What's your name? What? Zechariah Hillel. From where? 5 towns. Your father is here? Shalom Aleichem. Zechariah's father. Mazel Tov.
William was yesterday.
What?
William was yesterday and he wanted to come today.
You want to come when he's a bar mitzvah?
Yeah.
His first torah?
Yeah.
Wow, that's choshev. Very choshev. Get over here. Get over here. Come. Zechariah. Meanwhile, we have another very choshev guest. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Avi's father? Sammy Joseph. Shalom Aleichem. Yishkoyach for coming every single day in Chicago. Mamish Mechazik Dinyan over there. Shalom Aleichem. Mazel Tov. Very, very. Oh, turn around the picture for the father. Yeah, the items are waiting. It's not a problem. We'll take. They go that way to Dr. Factor. Who do you want? You want with Avi Kamiansky, the Baldwin brothers? We got Mendy. Thumbnail with the Bar Mitzvah. Very good. That's a little blurry. Why is it blurry? Okay, excellent. Go back to your seat. Now we can learn Torah. Today, Rabbi Isai, sponsors. The Koilo. May we merit the crown Hashem. The Koilo of the week. Mishpachas Rubenstein Lezeichen Nishmas Avi Moiri Baruch Ben Leib. The Masechta is sponsored by Lakewood NJ families, Lakewood, New Jersey, because Torah and achdus are the best segula. Parnas HaChodesh last day. Bracha Lidai in all my endeavors. Baruch Tzvi Nissim ben Shoshana Leah should have all the bracha. Dr. Avrum Epstein, who's still not here, in memory of the third yahrzeit of his beloved Raiza Gitl Zeav, Parnas HaChodesh, the last day, for Mordechai ben Esther, for complete Refuah Shalema B'Karov. Amen. Parnas HaChodesh, Leilui Nishmat Chaim Bas Yosef, the Shoshana should have an Leah. Parnas HaChodesh, Leilui Nishmat, Avrum, Albert, Levi, ben Esther, and Gabriel, ben Yaminov, and Parnas HaChodesh in honor of Rav Eli Sima Shas, and all them wires. And Parnas HaChodesh, Leilui Nishmat Zechariah ben Moshe, Parnas HaYoim. Glenn Roder, memory of my wonderful mother, Ethel Bat Lipa Vechava. Parnas HaYoim, Mordechai Sapoznick, Zeich Nishmas. The Zer Shimshon, Horav Shimshon Chaim, ben Rabbi Nachman Michoel, Zeich Bracha. Rabbi Nachman Seltzer wrote the Zer Shimshon, and he's not here. He's in Chutz La'aretz. May the Shalom have an aliyah, maybe made the for all those that learn his Sfarim, and the one, and the one who publishes his Sfarim, Rabbi Nachman Seltzer, and all of Klal Yisroel. And Chapi put that in there. Third, Parnas HaYoim, Avi Younger from Vienna, Leilui Nishmas, Teisis Yontev, and Zer Shimshon. And thank you to Rav Eli and Yosef Bilyak, as I should reach my goal for my Sefer Torah. Avi Younger is our rep in Austria. He's making a Sefer Torah, Shidduchim for all those that are looking for help, Nachas and Parnasa for my parents. Parnas HaYoim, David Hirsch, my son Alex, who finished Tainus Chagiga over the summer with Rav Eli on YouTube. Wow, Choshuv, Mazel Tov. Shirley Bernstein, Leilui Nishmas, Avrum. Oh, every time he does, this is not the first time he. How do you pronounce his name? Every year I go, Lak. Avrum Lak ben Meir Halevi, something like that. I don't know. Then he writes me, no, it is Lake. Zalman Twersky and Arna the Chosin and Kala Yochanan and Chaya Twersky. I'm giving you a mazel tov, give it over to him. He was also, Tmidim Kisidron, the big Talmud Chacham, sat there every day in Chicago, gave me a lot of chizuk. The art of the month, Yosef ben Chai Sarah, for all the chusim that come from supporting Limanat Torah. Rabbi Isai, I have a question. The famous song, Ben Bagbag Omer. What's his name? Ben the son of Bagbag. What's his name? Anybody know his name? Shh. The Koil guys that take tests on 1,000 at a time should not answer the question. Shkoyach though, Levi. Levi says his name is Yochanan. Okay, fine. Yesterday, no, we're going to see today. We went through the machlokes of where do we know that exactly. Shkoyach. Went through a machlokes. How do we know that bia is koina? One of the three things in the Mishnah, kesesh tar bia. How do you know it's koina? So Rebbe says uba'ala. Rabbi Yochanan says bu'ula baal. According to Rabbi Yochanan, what does he do with the word uba'ala? Rebbe says you learn from ba'ala. So what does he do with ba'ala? So we learned Alma Ivriya is not nikna bebia. Now, how does Rebbe know that Alma Ivriya is not nikna bebia? He learns it from the word, from the hey, uba'allah. Okay. So now we're holding by 2, 4, 7 lines from the bottom. Ulurava. The word uba'allah, shma min otarti. That's how we finished off yesterday. We learned from the extra hey, extra limud. Ulurava da'amar. Rava says, Barihina Azmerli. Barihina explained it to me. Kiyikach ish isha uba'allah. If you notice, there's a kiyikach. You do a likuchen, and then there's uba'allah. So he learns that one is connected to the other. You cannot have a likuchen, you can't have a kiddushin that you can't do uba'allah. They're one and the same. They have to be connected. Kiddushin ha-misurim lebiyah have a kiddushin. Kiddushin she'ei misurim lebiyah lo have a kiddushin. If it's kiddushin that's available for biyah, then it's a good kiddushin. So here I just grabbed this from Nedarim. Let's say this chassan says, one of you is mekudesh to me. And now there's a confusion. We don't know which one. It could be any one. So they're all sisters. They're all sisters, right? And they all look the same. And now he doesn't know which one he's mekadesh. So since there's a real suffix here, and he can't be with any of them because perhaps he's married for real to Rachel. So he can't be with Leah because Leah is the sister of Rachel. She's a choisisha, is a Raiza. So since he can never be with any of them, so it's Kiddushin she'ein mesurim lebiyah. He can never be with any of them, so it's not a Kiddushin. So how do we know this? From the word uba'ala. It's first kiyikach, it has to be lekuchen that's uba'ala. If you don't have uba'ala, then it's not a lekicha. So now the word uba'ala is not extra. I need it for something. Ma'ikil meimar. Imkei nichtav kra oy ba'ala. My uba'ala. Okay, there's another way to learn the word, another limit in there. What's uba'ala? It should have said, oh, it's a better way to say it. Shema min kulu. I can learn both halachas. Rebbe hai bulas ba'al my ovedle. Rebbe who learns the kinyan of bia from the word uba'ala, not like Rabbi Yochanan from bu'ulas ba'al. So what does he do with bu'ulas ba'al? Special halacha by a husband that he creates a be'ula. His wife becomes a be'ula even though it's shalei kedarka. And no one else could accomplish that. And how do we know this? It's from the pasuk. Ask the Gemara, but that's not true. We learned, we had this yesterday. 10 men were over with her. And she's still a psula. How is that possible physically? Because it was shalei kedarka, so she's still a psula. Kulam beskila. Just to remind the Olam, we're talking about a naira amurasa, and if she's a psula, then the uskalta moisam all the way at the end, the chiv misa skila, which is more severe than the typical chenek that you get for Eishes Ish. She's Eishes Ish. We asked yesterday, how is she Eishes Ish? Through shtar, but she's still a psula. And all of them get skila. What? Yeah, okay. Correct. Just throwing it out, reminding them the sugya. Rebbe Oimer, and Rebbe argues, Oimer ani harish and beskila v'kulam bechenek. Who's the rishon? A random guy. A random guy made her a be'ula, so she's no longer this psula, and if she's not a psula, she doesn't get skila at the end. What does she get? Chenek. Rebbe, we said a second ago that Rebbe holds from this pasuk, Ulas Baal, that only a husband makes her into be'ula shalei kedarka. If it's shalei kedarka, it's be'ula, even though physically she's a psula. Over here we see not like that. A random guy can make her into be'ula. Why? Because all his friends, the 9 friends, they don't get skila, they get chenem because she's not considered a psula, she's considered a be'ula through somebody else. Omer Ebzeira, top of Yud Amud Aleph. Moide Rebbe Leah Knas. When it comes to the Knas, so here it says in the pasuk like this. By the way, all this is Parshas Shavua, and all these we're going to go through even more psukim in Parshas Shavua. It'll give us a better understanding. A lot of times we just run through it, and now as the Bakar is reading, oh yeah, I remember something, a better understanding at least. Ki yimtza ish nara besula asher lo yorasa. Now, Irasa, not Irasa. Now we know what it means. Irasa, engaged. Over here we're talking about Lo Irasa. She's not married to anybody. Just a regular Nara. And he violated her against her will. There's a fine. Now, but 10 people violated her. Le'inyan Knas says Rebbe, the Kulu Mishalmi. She's not considered a be'ula, she's considered a psula. Oh, I should have underlined it, Yosef, Chaval. Ishnara psula in this pasuk it says, Kimsa Ishnara besula shalei rasa, she has to be a psula. 10 men violated her, how's she a psula? Because only a husband creates a be'ula, not a random person. And Mamela, all 10 of them are chayiv chamishim kesef. As the Gemara, Maishim Iktala. Why does Rebbe hold that when it comes to the death penalty, she's considered a bu'ula, only the husband is able to make her a bu'ula and everybody else not, and over here, she's considered a psula. What's the difference? Shani Asim Dama Kro Umeis. This might be for later. You see? No. Yeah, no, it's good. So he says Enochanami, but there's a special pasuk. And look at the next pasuk, pasuk Chavav. No, that's for later. Leave it for later. Okay, later. That there's a special pasuk that says only him. That's it. But that's by misa umeis levadoi. But by knas, everybody gets a knas as if she's a psula. Where? Okay. You mean it should be read? Well, okay, we can do it later. Fine. Not bad. V'Rabbanon, he's saying that the word umeis should also be read. Great. V'Rabbanon, hay levadoi my avdulei. Rabbanon argue. Rabbanon say all 10 men get skila. Why? She's a psula considered to all 10 men, not like Rebbe. So levadoi, what do you mean levadoi? Levadoi means only the first guy gets skila, not all 10. But over here Rabbanon hold all 10. So what do you do with the word levadoi? Another halacha. Umeisu gam shneim achu shavim ke'echad. Now, an amazing halacha, according to Rabbi Shaya says that in order to be chayiv misa, both have to be gdolim. So if you have a gadol that violated a ketana, it's very bad, but he doesn't get misa. Shneim, they both have to get the death penalty. Huh? But it's not talking about violence. It's talking about no. Umeisugam shneim. No. I don't agree with you. Nothing to do with skila. Misa. You don't get any misa. No, she's not. No, she's a ketana. No. Listen, Achu Shom Ke'echad. What? No. She's an arusa. You're asking if she's Eish? No, I don't think it's skila. There's no Einish Misa. No Einish Misa. Meisugam Shnei, there's no Einish Misa. As I state. What do you see otherwise? And that's the levadoi here, that he does get misa by himself. She doesn't get misa, he gets misa. So let's see, what?
She's young.
I know, so he's saying, but let's see. And so the Gemara asks, if it already says that in this next pasuk that you don't do anything to her, she's not chayiv. So why does it say levadoi? Tell you that in a case where she doesn't get misa, she's a ktana, she doesn't get misa, he does get misa. Now, Rabbi Yochanan Svar Menale, this is a little tricky. Because when you just read it, you think we're going on what we just discussed. Hai Svara. You have to know that this is a new thing. We're going back to yesterday. Hai Svara, that we discussed today also, that the Baal creates a Bu'ula, B'shalei Kedarka. When a husband is Boil Shalei Kedarka, she becomes a Bu'ula, and it's only the husband has that right. Hai Svara Menale. Why? Because he already uses the Bu'ula's Baal that Rebbe used to teach us this idea. He already used it. That Bias Kaina. Has Rabbi Yochanan that Bias Kaina? Rebbe learns it from Ubala. Rabbi Yochanan Bu'ula's Baal. What does Rebbe do with Bu'ula's Baal? This idea, Chiddush, that only the husband creates, the Baal creates a Bu'ula. Baal creates a Bu'ula. Rabbi Yochanan uses up that pasuk already to teach us Bia. So how does he know this idea that only the husband, Shalei Kedarka, creates Bia, Bula? Hai Svar Menale. Bulas ish, my bulas Baal, Shema Notarti. From this exact pasuk, from Rebbe's pasuk, but from a different way. It should have said bulas ish, but it says bulas Baal, so he learns two halachas from it. So suppose, stop for argument's sake, suppose Bia consists of 10 stages, let's say. There's ha'ara, that's the initial part, the stage 1, we'll call it. And then, according to Tais, it seems like we're talking about maybe stage 3, 4, whatever it is, somewhere in the middle. Now, just to be magdim, that we understand clear, if a person does ha'ara, stage 1, with the Eishes Ish, he's chayiv misa on the spot. There's no shaila where Bia is. Any part of Bia, you're over right away. If the rise, you're over right away. The Gemara has a shaila, though, when it comes to a kinyan. Kinyan Bia. Where's his das? Because kinyan Bia has nothing to do with halacha. A kinyan is a kinyan. When does a person want to create a kinyan? When is he goyim a das to be kind of? Again, so la halacha stage 1 is it. But maybe, perhaps, in his mind, he doesn't think about stage 1, he thinks about stage 3, 4. Or some say 10. Whatever. But let's say 3, 4. So Yibaylu. Tchilas Bia Koina or Soif Bia Koina? Seems like Soif Bia is not literally Soif, it means somewhere in the middle. Was he going to das for right away or later? A tremendous nafkamina, Rabbi Isai. Imagine this, it's unbelievable. A Kohen Gadol who thinks to himself that he's being kind of this woman who's a psula, he can only marry a psula, but he thinks to himself he's going to be kinder in 3 minutes from now. That's in his das. So what happened was, he starts Bia, immediately that millisecond, she becomes a bu'ula. She's not a psula anymore. By the time that he gets to the kinyan, a minute later, she's not a psula. So now he's over. How? If he had in mind immediately, so she's a psula immediately. But if a person is Aldas the Gemar, Aldas somewhere in stage 3, 4, wherever it is, 10. So then he's being over an avera. He's being with a bu'ula, not a psula, because by it was way before. She's a bu'ula way before the kinyan, and he's not allowed to be with the bu'ula. Ibaylu tchilas bia koina say bia koina nafkimina kigoin sheherba. He's at stage 1. Upash the yodav kibul kiddushin ma'acher. A theoretical question. She accepted kiddushin from another man, and the first guy wasn't kind to her. He's only kind to her 2 minutes later. The second man was kind to her because he gave her kiddushin. Inami, another nafkimina l'kohen gadol, the kakani psula bibia. If he wants to be kind to her bibia, and the bia only happens, the gemar kinyan only happens at a later stage, So she's no longer a psula when he gets to the kinyan. Mai. End the story. That a person in Chanami, when it comes to kinyanim, he's thinking about the Gemara. And Memela, Kohen Gadol would be also for him to be Koina, a woman, Bibia, because by the time he gets to the kinyan part, she's not a psula anymore. And this woman that's Makabal Kiddushin from somebody else, she's Eishish to the first guy. She's already married to the second guy because the first guy's kinyan only happened 3 minutes after she accepted Kiddushin from the second guy. She's Eishish. Ibaylu. We said in the Mishnah, Ha'isha Niknas, Bekesef B'shtar Bia. We said right away in the Mishnah, we're talking about Erusim. Stage 1. There's another stage called Nesuin. How do you do Nesuin? Chuppah. Perhaps that's the Gemara that Kesef Shtar creates Erusim. But Bia maybe is very powerful and it creates a Nesuin. I don't know. Ibaylu, Bia Nesuin Oisa, by Erusim Oisa. Nafkemina, Liyarsha, to be a Nesua. Now the Gemara just tells us what a Nesua. If you married completely through Bia, you inherit it right away. Liyarsha, Vilatamala. If you're a Kayan, you could go to her funeral, become Tameh. Ulav Nidorel. Yeah. Okay, we're going through does do Eris and Nesuin immediately. You don't need chuppah. You don't need anything. Immediately after the bia, she dies. He inherits her. Yeah. Okay. So we're just explaining. For where else in the Kiddushin does it say this? We don't know yet. You're zeicha to learn Shas. You know that Noam did a Sima Shas recently. Nobody knows. Secret. Okay. Now everybody's going to be bragging with him. 300 bro. You were in Africa. Okay, so it's the Dov Pasha. Nesuin, what does Nesuin do? We're doing Chazara. Nesuin, you inherit her, you're metama to her, you are made for Nedarim by yourself without a father, or if she's a Gdaila, you're made for another. Yamis Nesuin Oisa. Yarsha, okay, Nachamal. Yarsha, umetamela, umefar Nedareh. V'yamis Erisin Oisa, and if it Bia only creates the first stage of Erisin, he doesn't inherit. Which one does it do? So that's what we're discussing now. A father who has a nara, and certainly if she's a ktana, so no, she's 12, not even 12 and a half yet, she's a nara, she's still under the jurisdiction of the father. So he could receive the kiddushin, he takes the money. Bekesef, he takes the money. B'shtar, he takes the shtar. B'bia, he can force her to get married. V'zaki b'mtziasa, and if she finds something gishmak, he takes it. Ub'ma'asideh, her earnings. Ub'afaras and the real, and he cancels her nadarim. U'mekabel is gita, and if she got married according to Rashi, regular nesuin, he accepts the get. Taisa doesn't like it so much. If she had a Yerusha from her mother's side, from her grandfather, from her mother's side, her father can't touch the fruit, unlike a husband, nisis. Now listen to this. This is the important word, nisis, because it says that the father is zoicha in kesef shtar and bia. And a second later it says, and what if she had nisuin? So what does that tell me? That bia is not nisuin. You're asking, what does bia create? Erisin or nisuin? Obviously it only creates erisin, because a second later it says, nisis, once she gets married, yasser alavabal, then the husband is stronger than the father. If she has an inheritance, he gets to eat all the peiros. Says Gemara Ktani Bia, which is Eris and Ktani Nisas. Says Gemara Ktani Nisas. Says that says a great right. Says the Gemara Ashara. It says Av Zakeh Bekesef B'Shtar. That's what I'm talking about. If she gets married after the Kesef and the Shtar, then the husband's stronger. But Bia is its own category, maybe. Not the best right in the world. Says Gemara. Omar Rav Toshma. I know this is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. We're talking about 3-year-olds here, but don't forget that Rivka Yimenu was 3 years old. So whatever happened in those days and how mature they were and everything else, go deal with it. We're talking about theoretically. If a girl is 3 years old, her bia is a bia for every single halacha. In other words, if there's yibum, so she's his wife 100%, and she needs a get. And if somebody is mizana with her, he's chayiv eishes ish. Umetama is boyala. If she's a nida, she's metama the boyal. L'tame mishkav tachton ke'elyon. Oh, so we're gonna do a little bit of Tumat Tahara for a second, just so that we have a better understanding and it's easier for the rest of the Shas. Okay, so here's a simple chart. We're not going to go crazy into it, but just as very, very simple. Tumat Tahara is very, very simple. A dead person is the highest level of Tumah, is Aviyah Tumah. And the way Tumah works is that when you have contact with Tumah, you go down one step always. So if you're a human being and you touch a dead person, you go from Aviyah Tumah one step down to Avat Tumah. Some things actually start off at the level of Avat Tumah, like a dead sheretz, and like a Zav, Zava, Nida. They're Avat Tumah. So if somebody touches a Avat Tumah, if somebody touches a Zav, they become one level below, they become a Rishon. Avat Tumah has the power to be Metama, Adam Kalim, a person and a Kli. But the Rishon only has the power to be Metama Oichel Mashka. Can't be Metama Kli, can't be Metama person, a Rishon. Okay, so it's very simple. Now that we know that, the basic, and we go to a new chart from Yoshi for this sugya. We could go to the chart. Let's see if I can jump there real quickly. No. Oh. These are a bunch of mattresses. You have a Zava sitting on the mattress, and she has a bunch of hats. She is an Avatuma. She's a Zava, Nida. So what happens is, the halacha is that everything below her, all the levels below her, are Avatuma, and they don't lose any strength. They're all Avatuma. Avatuma could be Metama, Adam V'Kalim, a human being and Kli. So if Anita sits on a couch, the couch is Avatuma, couch touches another person, that person becomes sit on a couch that Anita sat on, you're Tameh. That in those days they were very makbid in these things. Today we don't know, we don't care, it doesn't make enough community to us. But we need to know this stuff. The Elyon going upwards is only a Rishon L'Tumah. So a hat that's on top of a hat could create a Sheni. If something touches that Rishon, it creates a Sheni. Okay.
The second hat, third hat, fourth hat doesn't go there.
No.
Why they all Rishon? It's a hat to a hat to a hat.
Exactly. That's the powerful halacha of a Zava. Yeah. And on the going down like a Zav that carries things. They're all the same level of Tumah. The fact that all these mattresses. Now you have a Boyal. He had relations with the Zava. So he's also Avatuma. But his Avatuma is different. His Avatuma, unlike the Zava, her Avatuma goes strongly down to the mattresses of Avatuma. His are only Rishons. Downwards and upwards. Also Rishon. There's no difference between up and down by him. That's the whole sugya. I mean, it's not a sugya. You just decided that we know it well, not just go through it.
Why is the up nothing?
Huh?
Why is the up nothing?
It's not nothing. It's a
You
Rishon.
said why should it be Rishon? The first is a lower level up. Up is a lower up.
Right.
You can only make
Boyle is different. Boyle doesn't go lower up. He goes lower down and he's equal in both ways. He hears you. He watches the shir. That's the whole point. Yishkoyach. He's happy now. You think somebody called him up? Hey, man, they made fun of you. He's listening live. Now, umetam is bayala. This 3-year-old, who's already 3 years old, she gives her husband, her bayal, gives her strong toma like a regular woman. But if she's less than 3 years old, then she's only metamas as Rashi tumas erev. It's not the strong tum of 7 days, right? I forgot to mention. A tumas nida, a boyel becomes tummy for 7 full days. Imagine this. Somebody's by mistake with a nida. Becomes tummy for 7 days. Not if she's under 3 years old, because her bia is not a bia. It's just regular. She has tumah in her guf, and then he touched something tummy, so he's tummy. He goes to the mikveh that day, and that's it. Okay, we're done with that sugya. Next, vim niseis, right? It's very very important now. It says again, what?
First hat that she's wearing on top, that's not also not.
No, I thought no.
I think what's touching her is not. Anything touching her is not. Also by herself. Anything touching is not. Anything touching.
Are you asking on her?
Yeah, her.
It could be you're right. Maybe the first one is, yeah. I hear. Yeah. But it's only a beged. It's different. A beged is different. It's different than okay, it could be you're right. If she gets married to a kohen, this 3-year-old, she gets married. You hear? Married. She eats truma. Now, what about a ktana, under 3 years old, that had chuppah? A 2.5-year-old. The chuppah, the whole thing, they fit into the chuppah. So Rashi explains, very, very important, that a chuppah is only something that's roy lebiyah. The whole point of what's chuppah? There's a machlokes what chuppah is. Is it inuma? Is it putting the veil over? Is it going under 4 poles like we do today? Or is it going into a cheder yichud? But this is all to act as a husband and a wife. If she's not roy lebiyah, then the chuppah is nothing. 0. Mamash a big 0. So, but if she's 3 years old, then the chuppah creates a situation where she starts eating truma if she's getting married to a kohen. She's married. And if there's any erva that comes in here, she because of her they die. But she's a ktana, she doesn't get misa. If she had relations with a mamzer and she's the daughter of a kohen, she no longer could benefit from anything in the kuna. Says the Gemara, Ktani bia, Viktani nisas. If you're telling me that bia creates nisuin, so then why it says v'im nisas, the top line. But if she gets married, if she's the final stage, bia is the final stage. Hachikamar. Ihanin nisuin the koheninu. No, again, I could be doichek yeraya. I don't have a solid raya because I could say that when it says v'im nisas means, and if she got married to a kohen, the bia creates nisuin. And by the way, if that nisuin happened with a kohen, so this and this is the halacha. Tashma another raya. Again, we want to know, does bia create erusin, does it create nisuin? Ukva sholach Yochanan ben Bagbag Eitzer Rabbi Yehuda ben Meser Linsi. Yochanan, that's who ben Bagbag is. Yochanan says, by the way, ben Bagbag, what's the famous song? Hafoich ba, kula ba. This is talking about this. There's everything in Torah, everything. There's kavachoimers, pirches, the whole zach. I heard about you that you say that if she's just in stage 1 of erusin, she gets to eat truma if she's getting married to a kohen. Shalach loi sends back. What? What's your problem? You should also say the same thing. I know that you're baki in all the rooms of Torah, the insides. And you don't know how to do a kavachomer. Now, let me ask you something. In order to say a kavachomer, do you have to know the whole Torah? A kavachomer is logic. This is kal, this is chomer, so certainly if this is this is that. Says Reb Chaim Brisker, says that in order to say any Kiddushin Torah, you have to know Kol HaTorah Kul. You have to know Shas. You can't just say Kiddushin. You can't say, Boich Svars. To me, it makes sense. First, you have to know Shas, he says. He said, not me. Rosh Briskers. You have to know Shas. And then, you could go to Svars. Huh? Yeah, that makes sense. Also, that fits right in. You have to know if there's going to be a pircha. Okay. And what's the kavachomer? If somebody has relations with a goya, she doesn't eat truma. Kaspa b'achilas b'truma. It says in the pasuk nefesh kin kasboy hu yoicha boy. If you purchased a kinyan, a shifcha, she starts eating, or evet, she starts eating truma. But we're talking about a shifcha here. Kaspa b'achilas b'truma. Zu should be also b'achilas b'truma. A regular wife that through bia, and this is the nakuda here. We're talking about bia. Okay, it says that bia creates achilas truma. If somebody has bia with a woman, she starts eating truma. She's married to a kohen. But what bia is it? Where does bia come from? And it didn't. So you hear the kavachaymer? If a shifcha could start eating truma just through money and not through bia, so a regular wife who could eat truma through bia, certainly if you just give her a ring, you give her money, she should start eating truma. And arusa should start eating truma. And she guys with truma. But what should I do? He says it's a great kavachaymer, but we have a problem. There's a gzeira. Ein arusa bas Yisrael chayz with truma. I should cause chuba. You cannot eat. Why? Because we're concerned he's going to send her a nice bottle of wine for Shabbos, and she's going to forget. She's going to pour wine for the whole mishpach and the all Yisrael, and they're all going to be over. Now, says the Gemara, very simple. So I made a very simple chart here. I think this is beautiful for the sugya. We have two things here. We have bia and kesef. We have three options. Either the bia and the kesef both have a chuppah with them. It's accompanied with a chuppah before, chuppah after, depending bia or kesef. Bia would be after chuppah. Rashi says there's a chuppah and then bia. In other words, it's very interesting. Just I'm sidetracking for a second. According to Rashi, chuppah is supposed to be at the end, right? But Rashi says no. There's chuppah then bia, and the way it works is the chuppah does 0. Then after bia, retroactively the chuppah comes into play. Kesef is like what we do today. We give a ring and then chuppah. Fine. Akopanim. What are we talking about? Asked the Gemara. Very, very simple question. Tell me what we're talking about. You're trying to compare bia to kesef. Kesef should certainly have her eat truma. Why? Because bia has her eat truma. So certainly kesef. What bia? What kesef? Bia with chuppah or bia without chuppah? Kesef with chuppah or without chuppah? If both of them have chuppah, step one, of course they eat truma. It's bia with chuppah, she's mamish married. Kesef with chuppah, mamish married. That's what we do today. Kesef with chuppah married. Of course she eats truma. If we go all the way to the bottom, let's say. Okay, we'll go to the middle. Elamai, bia has chuppah, kesef doesn't have chuppah. That's not fair. That's not a good kavachaymer. Bia with chuppah, that's 2. Bia, chuppah, 2. If bia with chuppah, she eats truma, certainly the weak one, kesef, that doesn't have chuppah, should eat truma. Why? She doesn't have chuppah. Kesef doesn't have chuppah. Bia with chuppah is very strong. It's 2. So that's why she eats truma. Kesef is very weak. It only has kesef by itself. It doesn't eat truma. What kind of kavachaymer is this? Why would I think that kesef she eats truma? Elamai, both don't have chuppah. Okay, we get to step 3. Both don't have chuppah. Bia creates a situation where a woman eats truma, so certainly kesef should eat truma. Wait a minute. Bia without chuppah, she gets to eat truma? What does that make her? Married. Nisuin. How is she eating truma if she's an arusa? Obviously, she's a nesua. So you see that bia alone creates nisuin. That answers our question. Again, does bia create nisuin? Does bia create erison? We must be talking about bia without a chuppah, because if it's bia with a chuppah, it's not fair. It's 2 against 1.
How then would it be a kavachomer?
What?
How then would it be a kavachomer?
How?
How then would it be a kavachomer?
Well, it's not a kavachomer. Whoa. Oh.
He's saying it's a kavachomer. Right?
No, it is a kavachomer because they're equal. They're on the same playing field. Bia without chuppah creates eating truma. Kesef, which gives a shifcha truma, certainly should give a wife truma.
But bia is different.
Yeah.
Also counts as chuppah. It also counts as
Well, but a shifcha without chuppah eats truma just with kesef. You're going straight from. No, he's asking. But what's the havmin of the kavachaymer? Okay, let's see inside. Somebody. Okay. Anyway, Zakdimar, no, you don't get up, please. Okay. Hey chidami, that's where we're holding right now. We just did that whole sugya. I thought it was a little complicated inside. That's why I did this chart. I think it's very simple now. Right, Mendy? Hey chidami. If it's like step one, both bia and kesev have a chuppah, both of them, she should eat truma. Why? There's no gzera here. The whole reason why an arusa doesn't eat truma is because they're not married and she's still by her parents' house. It's chuppah. You already took her into the house. So no, she should eat. Everybody should eat truma. So you have to say, no, bia has a chuppah. So what kind of kavachomer is that? It's 2 against 1. It's bia and chuppah against just kesev alone. We have to go to step 3. Both of them do not have a chuppah. Thank you, whoever brought me the water. If you say that bia creates nisuin stage 2, then it makes a lot of sense that bia is stronger than kesef. But if bia only creates erisin, why is it so poshut to you that bia creates achila? What? Allows it, right? Eats truma. And why is it by money? You don't know. Yeah, it's 2 against 1. You're right. We're gonna go. No, it's not a good raya. You only raya is because we're at step 3. No, we're gonna go to the middle one where bia has chuppah, money doesn't have chuppah, and you ask me a bomb question. It's 2 against 1. What kind of kavachomer is 2 against 1? With the Amr's kavachomer mi isa kol za achnas the kavachomer sort of. Here's the kavachomer. A shifcha, just a person's boiler, she doesn't start eating truma. You can't do a chuppah to a shifcha. Why? She's a guy. There's no chuppah and kiddushin by a guy. It's 0. She's not a bas nesuin, says Rashi. Nevertheless, kaspa machilas b'lei chuppah. If you give her money, she starts eating truma without a chuppah. Zu, a regular woman should be yasam machilas b'truma. Ayidei chuppah. Yeah, it's 2 against 1. But that's the whole point of the kavachomer. Even though bia with chuppah, because bia and chuppah together, 2, creates a situation where she eats truma, and it then certainly shekasma machilas b'truma b'loi chuppah. If a shifcha could eat truma with kesef without chuppah, so certainly a married woman should be able to eat truma with kesef without chuppah, because the bia with chuppah gives her truma, and it doesn't do so for a shifcha. So we can't say it is a good kavachomer, even though it's 2 against 1. Yeah? No, I saw that you're a little hesitant over there. What?
The shifra doesn't have the opportunity for chuppah. It doesn't even exist.
Correct.
So now you're making a thing for the regular woman who has to have a chuppah.
No.
Why we?
Okay, so hold on a second. Let's I hear what you're saying. Let's do it together. A shifcha doesn't have the ability to have bia, chuppah, nothing. Yet she eats truma with the smallest thing called kesef. You give her $100 bill and she starts eating truma. So a woman who does have the ability.
Because the only way to know a shifra is to pay. That's it. See.
Okay, but it makes her. But it shows that kesef is powerful.
For her, it could be the highest. No, but in the case of a regular woman, the only way to own her is to do both. Is chuppah and kesef. So she doesn't fall into the category.
Okay, I hear it this way. You hear? Think about it. I don't know. I thought you're going. Maybe you're touching something else. So like it's. How can you compare something that's not even in the parsha? That sort of that. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, that's what he's saying. But that goof is the kavachomer. That she's not in the parsha. If somebody's not in the parsha, and could eat truma. Okay, it's apple and orange. Fine, I hear. That's what you're asking. It's apple and oranges. That's what you're asking. Okay, I got it. I guess a lot of people have your question here. We have a different problem. This is a gzeira. Midaraisa, she should eat. You're right. She should eat. We have a great kavachim. She should eat truma. But there's another problem. She might give her brother to drink. Ben Bagbag says no. This is not a gzeira the Rabbana. This is midaraisa. She doesn't get to eat. Why? No, that was your question. You're trying to stick that in. No, I heard what you said before. He did everything. He did all stages. Stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. There's only one stage. Kesef. But by Hacha, Shir B'Kinyana. But by a woman, there's 2 stages. There's Erusin and Nisuin. So he only did half the job. He only did the Erusin part, so she doesn't get to eat. By a Shivcha Knainas, all you need to do is 1 stage, give her money, and then that's all the stages. Ravina, remember the right? Some if Shapshita the Achla, it's Pasha, she does eat. And he was asking him a question. I heard that you hold that she could eat even the Rabban. Oh, so now we have Yudi and Shas. Simfon is something that cancels a star, anything. So in our case, we're talking about a mum. Imagine a guy, he never saw a skala, he sends her Kiddushin with the shliach, and then he shows up and he sees she has 4 arms. Deal's over. It's retroactively canceled. It never happened. So what's going to happen? This woman, she received Kiddushin, she's all excited, even though she has 4 arms, she finally found the shidduch, and she eats truma for a whole year. And then when the guy sees her, he says, cancel. So the whole year she ate for nothing. That's called simfon. So the problem is, how come you are not concerned about simfon? You should know this. How come when it comes to the shivcha, you're not concerned that you're going to find something out? You didn't know that she has this and this disease. Had you known, you would have never bought her. Yet, she could eat truma. And it did. She got some achdus b'truma v'lo nechaj simfon. Avrum Epstein. But what should I do? Shari Avrum Chacham Raiza Gitl and achdus b'truma. Achi dikoret l'chupa mishum de'ula. We have the gzeiros Chachamim of Ula. By the way, Rabbi, I just want to give you a little secret. The Belzer Chassid told me that this is the most difficult daf in Kiddushin. You pass it with flying colors. Yishkoyach and have a wonderful day. Yishkoyach.